Today's Whiskey War is Jameson versus Writer's Tears. Who will come out on top?
So being that it's still March, and St. Patrick's Day is in March, we thought we'll kick this off with Irish whiskies. Today we have Writer's Tears, Kirkland Irish Whiskey, Jameson, and Teeling. Why these four? Because these are what we had, so these are what we're going with today. What we're going to do now is choose which two will actually be in the war against each other. And the war is done thusly. There's 3 rounds. The first round is neat. The second round is with water. The third round is on ice. We grade each one on a scale of 1 to 5 for each round and then determine a winner. And at the end, there's a bonus round that you'll want to stick around to see. The way we're going to do this is we're going to use a 4-sided die. Yes, that's right. We play Dungeons & Dragons too. And this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to roll this die twice to determine who gets to go. 1, so we have Writer's Tears. And I want to roll the other one. Can't be Writer's Tears against itself, so let's roll it again. And 3, Jameson. Ooh, this will be interesting. Writer's Tears versus Jameson. So let me put these two away.
So Brian has the A side, I have the B side. He's going to pour Jameson in A. I'm pouring Writer's Tears in B.
Round 1. I mean, it's Jameson. It's just a classic Irish whiskey. It's got that biscuity, buttery thing going on. Jameson, to me, always has a little bit of a bitterness in the back. But you know what? As this is the first round of the very first episode and I don't really have anything to base it off of, I'm going to go with a solid 4.
So, we have a 5-point spread, 5 being the highest of the numbers, the best of the best, 1 being the...
Yeah.
I'm going to be stingy, because that's how I roll. I'm giving this a 3. Sorry, writers, but you're not doing it for me today.
Water break. Okay. Now, I'm going to taste the Writer's Tears. She's going to taste the Jameson. Can I give it 3.5? No, I can't. I'm going to go with a 3.
Now, if you notice my technique, I smelled it first, then I took a sip, and then I took another sip. And I do that on purpose because it's all part of the experience.
You know what I'm doing? Taking a sip, giving a score.
For me, the first sip is to acclimate my body to the alcohol because alcohol doesn't really add flavor, it adds harshness.
Flavor.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
What we're also getting at here is you can whiskey however you like.
The second sip is to actually appreciate all that's going on. And the smell is equally, and in my case, 10 bajillion times more important than the taste because it's all connected. So,
Score!
Jameson, for me, is a 4.
Interesting. So far, Jameson's in the lead. Round 2. The next test is with water. So we're just going to move them there. Again, Jameson side, Writer's Tears side. I have water here. We should be using a pipette so that this is equal. I'm going to eyeball it. Just a few drops. What does water do in a whiskey? Well, different things. Sometimes nothing. Sometimes it waters it down. Sometimes it brings out intense flavors. We shall see.
Gonna give it a little swirl. Little smell.
It watered it down. That's about it. Jameson's is a 40% ABV, so when you water it down a little bit, it gets below that and it starts to take away some of the flavors. I'm going with a 2.
Now, if you notice, my technique changed. What did I do differently? I did the whiskey chew. And what that is you kind of make a chewing motion with your jaw, mouth, whatever. So that way the liquid can coat all the surfaces of your mouth so you can get the full experience of the flavor.
Again, I put it in my mouth, I tasted it, I swallowed it.
But in comparison to my experience with it neat, I actually liked the water version better for Writer's Tears. Dun,
Okay.
Dun, dun. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Now, I'll taste the other one while she tastes Jameson. Writer's Tears held up a little bit better than the Jameson underwater. Still, they taste watery to me. I'm going to hold my score, though, and let her go first this time. She's making the face. Whiskey is the one drink that you're allowed to make that face.
That wasn't the whiskey face. The whiskey face on this face is much different than the face that I just made. At least I feel like it is. That was the I'm gonna concur with Brian's assessment of the watered down Jameson. The watered down Jameson tastes like watered down Jameson. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2. Is that what you gave it?
Yeah. I'm giving this a 3. And now, we are on to the third and final round. Round 3. Which is ice. Now, ice does a few things when you put whiskey into it, or put ice into whiskey. First, it can let some of the oils float to the surface, which is what it's doing here, similar to what water does. It also cools it. Now, when you cool things down, you turn down the flavors. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not. Let's find out.
But wait! We didn't do a prediction! So I'm going to do a prediction right now.
That's right, we're supposed to predict which one wins.
And my prediction on the ice is that this is just going to be boring.
Oh, see, I thought we were supposed to do predictions on the entire winner.
Yeah, well, we didn't do it, so I'm just doing it on ice. So, because it would be unfair.
This is the first show of its kind, so, give us a little bit of a break here. My prediction? See, this isn't fair, because I've had both of these on ice. I already know. But I'm not saying. I can tell you right now, the smell goes down to almost nothing. You don't really smell it at all. Now, the trick is, do I score this based on whiskey itself, or do I score this based on whiskeys on ice? Relative to other whiskeys on ice, I think is the way I'm going to score this. From an enjoyability standpoint, because that's why you put it on ice. You don't put it on ice to get the most flavors and explore a whiskey. You put it on ice to enjoy it. From an enjoyability perspective, I'm going with a 4. I'm borderline between 3 and 4, but I think I'm going to go with 4. Over here so I can reach it.
Sorry. At this point, I'm a little confused. And it's not because I've had alcohol, because we ate pizza before we did this, so I had some buffer in my stomach, and I'm not too bad off. But I kind of want to go back and compare, but I know that's wrong. We can't do that. Bad Derrica. Bad Derrica. But I'm thinking, at first, I liked this better, which was shocking. And then, as Brian kept talking, you noticed I kept drinking, because that's what you do, right? And now I'm thinking, maybe not. I don't know. I'm confused. So because I'm confused, I'm giving it a 3.
Okay. I'm going with 4 for Jameson. She's going with 3 for Writer's Tears on Ice. Again, smell. Well, actually, this has a little bit more smell than the Jameson on Ice. It tastes more watered down than the Jameson did. Could be because it's been sitting just slightly longer.
Because I'm getting the same expression over here. It tastes more watered down than that did, so...
But it couldn't have been that quickly watered down in 2 minutes. So, from an enjoyment perspective, I'm going with a 3. It's good, but it's not great.
I'm going with 2.
The winner! So, the results are in. And for Jameson, I gave it 10 total points. Derrica gave it 8 total points. For Writer's Tears, I gave it 9 total points. Derrica gave it 10 total points. Which means Jameson has an 18. Writer's Tears has 19. So Writer's Tears is the winner. Not what I thought was going to happen. I totally thought Jameson was going to win.
But it was so close!
We also have something else that I want to try that Derrica has no idea that I'm going to say this. Bonus round! I want to mix them together and taste it. Just to see. We're going to take the watered down versions. And what are we going to do with those? Finish it! I don't even know which was which anymore. But what I want to do is take the 2 neat versions that have a little bit left and mix them together, just to see. Yeah, I think it's better. That's a 5 right there. It is actually really good mixed together.
It has a nice bouquet. It smells a combination of what I typically get from Irish, which is floral notes, but what I typically get from bourbon, which is candy notes, and that's curious to me.
It's nice. Mixed together, it's really good.
The flavor profile actually mimics the bouquet quite nicely, which is kind of unusual.
Has less of the little slight bitterness of Jameson and more of the biscuity notes from the Writer's
Which
Tears.
is funny because my neat taste of the Writer's Tears was bitter.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember that from last time, so that was kind of...
Water break. Now it's time for... Bullet Whiskey! So this is the part of the show where we find something that we like, and we decide if it'll whiskey. Mixing things together with whiskey can be interesting. Sometimes it's a pairing of food. Other times we're making essentially a cocktail. This time, we're putting whiskey into milk. And we're going to use today's winner, which is Writer's Tears. As Derica collects all the glasses and finishes them off.
Oh, that was part of the rules.
Okay. We want people to make suggestions on Will It Whiskey, on things that you would like to see us combine whiskey with. However, here's a couple of rules. First, it has to be something that won't make us disgustingly sick just by thinking about it. It has to be something that we actually like. So if you make a suggestion and we don't like it, it means that it probably won't get used. But if it's something that we like, we might just give it a try.
If you're looking for ideas of what to pair whiskey with, go to CS Cooks and see anything that we cooked we like, so we'll try it with those.
Right off the bat, the idea of whiskey and milk kind of confuses me. Although when you think about it, like White Russians and things like that are actually milk-based cocktails. So
White Russians are good eating.
Drinking. So, it's mostly milk with a little bit of whiskey, because I thought that seemed more sense than a lot of whiskey with a little bit of milk. I'm actually a little worried about this one. I'm not sure why, but it smells like whiskey. Maybe I didn't mix it up enough. Going to reserve judgment until she tries it.
He didn't become violently ill, so I take that as a good sign.
Yeah, we do have to get a barf bucket for this show. I just have a feeling there's going to be a time for that.
Because we do both really enjoy sushi, so that is on the table.
I'm not dipping sushi in whiskey. I didn't hate it. It's actually not bad. That's why I waited till she drank it, because she had the same reaction.
That is bizarre. It actually enhanced the natural sweetness in milk.
Yeah. Now, I think had I put more whiskey in it, it might have gotten a little bit gross. But I figure that's like making a Collins. You know, it has like a shot of whiskey in like a glass of milk. It's actually pretty good. It's kind of...
We might have to measure these things next time for science.
Yeah. Okay.
But, I have my vote already. Bonus round! Will It Whiskey? Yes!
If there are whiskeys that you'd like to see pitted against each other and see what we think of them against each other, please leave your suggestions in the comments below.